This is KTVO's Good Morning Heartland.
And welcome back. The new school year is upon us, and that means getting back into a routine which may consist of eating breakfast before heading out the door. But sometimes easy breakfast options are not always the healthiest ones. This morning we have Carrie Snyder here this morning to show us some healthy on-the-go choices. Good morning. How are you doing?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing great. So I know even with myself, sometimes I like to grab a donut or even a Pop-Tart on the go, and you're saying no, no, no. That is not nutritious and not the way to start a busy day.
No, we want to try and go healthier, especially with children. You know, school's starting. Granted, for children, we see they perform better if they eat breakfast versus not eating breakfast, even if it is the, you know, honey bun and Pop-Tart. But what we also see is we want that food to last throughout the morning. You know, if it's 3, 4, even maybe 5 hours later before they're eating lunch, we don't want to have that energy drop in between. And what we see is a lot of foods that are higher in protein, higher in fiber, and doing those combinations of foods will just last a little bit longer with us. Even for those adults that are then wanting to lose weight, you know, that's another option too, is trying to make sure that morning breakfast has, we're not just doing, you know, a granola bar, but we're also doing something with protein in it.
Right.
To help us just last a little bit longer.
And what I like about the options that you brought in, minus maybe just one of them, but all of these you can easily make in the same time of popping a Pop-Tart into the toaster. So when people say, oh, I don't have time to make breakfast, you actually do if you look at it.
Yeah. So oatmeal, I mean, this is something that takes about 2 minutes to do, and something I like to do, either add peanut butter, you could add some Greek yogurt to it, even adding trail mix. And trail mix is something you can even pack in the morning and take with you, you know, that's going to have the raisins, the nuts, the fats in it. You know, this is just, whether you take, for kids, sometimes they like doing the whole grain waffles, frozen waffles, toast them, put some peanut butter, some fruit on them. This is something, you know, it would be even more portable if you ended up using like the burrito size and be able to wrap it up more, but, you know, add whatever types of veggies. This is a great way to be able to add veggies, whether it's onions, green peppers, spinach, and put some salsa on it. And I say, you know, if we're doing cereals, try and do something that's more whole grain, lower in sugar. If you even are doing those food, you know, like the Frosted Flakes, try and get your kids to maybe even just have a scrambled egg or something with it. Because if they just have that high sugar cereal, we easily digest those carbohydrates, and then all of a sudden their energy's going to drop in.
And they're going to have that sugar crash in the middle of the day, or get grumpy, or when they come home from school, they're starving. So now, what are some things to keep in mind? You say when we do these healthy on-the-go options, you say protein. Anything else that we want to keep in mind when we are putting our breakfast foods together? And something like this, you can even pre-make the night before when it comes to fruits and you know.
Prepping things the night before, like what we have over here is a egg muffin. Actually, it's just thinking of maybe something you would put into a scrambled egg in the skillet, but it's usually for about a dozen of them. It's about 12 eggs and then whatever else you're wanting to put in. Bake it for 20 minutes. So that's something, yes, you can maybe do Sunday. It'll get you through. Usually I tell people to eat them within 2 or 3 days, but you could even freeze those and bring them out and thaw them later. So those are a great option. But I always like doing the Greek yogurt because it's going to be higher in protein than our typical yogurt. Hard-boiled eggs or something, just even string cheese for, you know, wrapped in some ham or turkey. Making, instead of going through McDonald's and getting, you know, a sandwich, take a whole grain or whole wheat English muffin, just cook up an egg, maybe put some Canadian bacon on there that's just going to be lower fat than your sausage or regular bacon. And that's something that's still, you maybe wrap it up in some aluminum foil, but it's still something you can kind of take with you and eat.
Now let's talk about really quickly about portion size. I know that, you know, people say, okay, breakfast is the most important meal of the day, but when you go out, even if you do have healthy breakfast, the portion sizes are ginormous. Now, do we need to have that for our breakfast, or does something like this actually is better for us and holds us over?
Yeah, what I usually see for people is I want to see, you know, more of that higher portion of maybe the protein-rich foods, and then having some sort of carbohydrate, whether that's cereal or fruit. Even yogurt's a carbohydrate. on the side. But what we also see though is we want that breakfast to be bigger, actually.
Okay.
You know, maybe not the hungry man breakfast that we can, you know, find at the diner, but we want to see that, we see also with the research, when we do that larger breakfast and eat a moderate, you know, lunch, and then also a moderate portion size dinner, smaller dinner, we see that we just have better control of just, I would say, cravings and things like that throughout the day.
Okay.
So, but yeah, I mean, something like this, if you did oatmeal with, you know, one of the egg muffins or something like that, or a couple, that would be great.
Okay, perfect. And of course, drink plenty of water.
Water. Stay hydrated all day, because then a lot of times if we are dehydrated, people tend to go towards more food versus actually drinking that water. So I always tell people stay hydrated between meals.
Or you might even get that little sweet tooth when you really shouldn't have it if you are drinking the water. I know sometimes I lack in that department and go to the snack machine and get a chocolate and a Dr. Pepper, which isn't good. So, all right. Well, what we'll do is we'll post everything on our website at heartlandconnection.com. We'll also post some other healthy on-the-go options and ideas for the parents out there with the school year starting. And of course, we'll post your information as well if they have any questions or concerns. All right. Thank you so much. And we'll be right back.